2 days later, the man comes here looking for a fight, and the new husband shoots him and kills him in this house.
Welcome back to another episode of A Girl Business Podcast. I'm your host, Shelby, and today we are in, is this downtown Jackson? Mm-hmm. We are in, and it's historic, right?
Yep.
So I could say historic
downtown. That's what it's called, the historic downtown Jackson.
Super cute. And I'm here with Elsie, and she's the owner of Bethany's Home Sweet Haunted Home, as well as Recycled Pets Norcal. And you also have a full-time job.
Yeah.
And she just got back from Japan. She's like a local celebrity. So we have lots to talk about, girl. I am excited to hear about your journey and how you ended up doing what you're doing. And the girls love the details, so take it back as far as you can.
I feel like I understand that have played no role in any of this. The world just happens to me in so many ways, right? And I'm the type of person who, I'm type A, and so like I just feel like, oh, I could ask somebody else to do it, or I could just do it myself. So I just keep doing it myself. But and yeah, so things just fall in my lap. So it started like, for me, this house, it's like this weird shifty path. But I originally just bought a rental because I had a friend who had pit bulls, and she was leaving her husband. She couldn't find a rental. And so I, at the time, was working 2 jobs. I had extra money. I bought a house and then rented it out to her. And then she, during COVID, was buying her own house. And so I was like, well, what do I do? Because I can't afford to, now I was only working 1 job, and I couldn't afford to pay the mortgage if somebody didn't pay it. And there's like the eviction moratorium. So I was like, what do I do? And so I did what a lot of people do. I went to Disney World by myself. It was like the first, yeah. So I went to Disney World by myself. I wanted to go before it got too crazy. And I was listening to a podcast, and I listened to a podcast where they talked about boarding houses. And I was like, oh, I could do that. So I sold the house and bought an 8-bedroom, 5.5 bathroom house in Woodland. And then like 2 weeks after I started that process, I still like, some women, you know, go online and buy clothes. I go on Realtor and look at houses. That is like my dopamining. I love looking at old houses. And so this house popped up, and I was just like, I don't know what it was, but I had to have it. Like, I absolutely had to have it. It was calling me like every day. I harassed, my best friend is my realtor. I harassed her every single day, and she's like, they still haven't called me back. They still haven't called me back. Finally, they called back, and the selling agent said, I can meet you there today. And my best friend couldn't come, so I met the agent up here. And I was sitting on the porch. She was late, just waiting for her, and I saw a wagon, like a horse-covered, horse-drawn wagon, go down the street, and there was a dog in the back of it. And I was like, this is a weird Thursday afternoon. Like,
hella random.
Super random, but so cool, right? I'm like, I like dogs. I like old things. Like, this is so cool. And so we come into the house, and I'm looking around, and it just feels so great. And then she says, oh, yeah, it used to be a brothel. And I was like, sold. Done. Like, I want it. And so I ended up buying this house now, but I didn't know it was haunted so I had bought it to be a boarding house, rent out by the room.
Like a hostel type of thing?
It's like a long-term hostel, though. Okay. So it's just like you rent the room.
Okay.
So you share communal spaces, but you only rent the room. Mm-hmm. So that way, yeah, so this house has 7 bedrooms, so technically then 7 people could rent, each one rents a room. And so that was the plan, because then if like 1 or 2 don't pay their rent, I can probably still make my mortgage. So that was the biggest concern, like I said, during the moratorium. But it wasn't until the final walkthrough we were doing the final walkthrough, everything's said and done right before it closes. You do the final walkthrough, and we started at the back, came to the front, and when we went into the front, into the closet, I was with my handyman and my real estate agent, and I was like, I don't like this room. There's a girl in the closet. And they just look at me like I'm crazy. Now, so that's the first time I realized that the house was haunted. Although I should have known before that, because my inspector, he didn't want to inspect the house, and I like really had to harass him to inspect the house. And then I met him up here after he'd done, because he was like, oh, the house is so big and it's so old. And I was like, you just did this 3 weeks ago in Woodland at a house that's older and bigger. What are you talking about? Like, no, just do it. I told him, I'm going to buy the house no matter what you find. So I just need to know how much money I'm gonna have to spend to fix it. That's all I need to know. Like, I was 100%, I was gonna buy it no matter what. And so I get here, and the first thing he says to me is, what if it's haunted? And I said, I don't care. Of course, I like thought like haunted house, like you hear like, oh, somebody sees somebody every 6 months, like no big deal. Like, I didn't expect it to be like haunted like it is. So like, yeah, I didn't think it's whatever, big deal. So I was working on the house in Woodland. I didn't really have any time here because they closed 3 weeks apart. So I was starting there with, you know, refurbishing and painting and all the things I do. Because I do furnished rentals. And so I hadn't come here yet. But one of my friends knew a paranormal investigators, and they were going to happen to be in the area for somebody's birthday. And she asked her friend, hey, do you want to come check out this haunted ex-brothel in Jackson? And she said yes. And so literally this house was empty except for the sofas. And I was sitting on the sofa when she came here. I'd never met her. I'd never spoken to her. She had never spoken, you know, like, so she didn't know anything. The first thing she does is walk into the door, into that bedroom, comes out and says, I don't like that room. There's a girl in the closet. And I was like, yes, okay. So I'm not crazy. And so, yeah, so that was like the first bit of validation. So there was, besides the sofas, there was no furniture in this house, and we had about 15 paranormal investigators here investigating it.
Oh my gosh.
So that was the first paranormal investigation I've ever seen. So I wasn't really involved in it.
So did you grow up like fascinated with spooky things, or?
No, but I saw my first spirit when I was 7, and I used to see them a lot when I was a kid, and then about my teenage years I shut it off because I was some really creepy, like I always knew I could feel them if they were there, but when I saw them, they were always like shadow people. I saw the Hat Man, like all sorts of, so I just shut it off. And I've had experiences, which of course now I understand it's because I'm a psychic medium, but I didn't know that until after buying this house. Because like I had experiences before buying this house with really intense things. Like in 2020, I bought this house in 2021, May of 2021, but in 2020 I went to West Virginia for work. So my real job is, and there's a lot of intersections here, so my real job is I work in research at Shriners Hospitals for Children, and we had a research program where we took English Bulldogs born with spina bifida and did stem cell therapy. And since I run a rescue, I found the dogs, I collected the dogs, I brought them back, I fostered the dogs, and then once they were done with their surgery and treatment, then I adopted the dogs out. And so I went to West Virginia to pick up a puppy, and again, it was during COVID. It was like July of 2020. So there's really like everything was shut down. There's not much going on in West Virginia. They didn't care as much, but it was still, there wasn't the tourism that there is now. So I Googled like things to do in West Virginia, and the only thing that came up was Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. And so I was like, it's a cool old building. I like old buildings. So I went, and I was walking through, and we get to this room, and I go in it, and I start like having a panic attack, and I see there's like a child, and I see a bed, there's a bed, and I see a child in the bed, and the child in the bed, and I'm freaking out. I'm like about to lose my mind. Like, I need to get out of this room. I need to get out of this room. And then the woman giving the tour starts talking, and she talks about how in this room there was 4 inmates. One of them, he was probably like a low functioning, like autistic. And he didn't speak, but he would have violent outbursts, and so that's why he was there. So he would just like usually like color and stuff like that. So very juvenile, behavior. But his roommates decided to kill him, and what they did is they put the foot of the bed on his head and jumped on it. And so in that moment, I was like, okay, everything I just saw made sense, and my feelings, but like. Again, I didn't really think too much about it, like how I knew that, but like, or what that meant. So yeah, so I've had things happen my whole life, but I never in a million years. I do work in science. I am autistic. I am very rational. I am not emotional. And so I think it's kind of funny because yeah, it is what it is. Like, I don't really know what any of that means. Or for example, since I was a child, I know when women are pregnant. I know the genders of their babies, what they're going to weigh, sometimes their initials, what they look like. Like, I've been doing this I've known this since I was a little kid. But again, it was something I knew. And so I never once thought what that meant. And so it wasn't until I bought this house. So then now I've got this house and meant to be a boarding house, but I can't get anybody to stay longer than 2-3 months here. So what do I do with it? And so I decided to turn it into an Airbnb. I figured it's one thing to visit a haunted house and it's another thing to live there. And so I turned it into an Airbnb. And so then I started going to paranormal conventions in order to network for this house. And then also I started a paranormal convention of my own, Gold Country Paracon. And so again, I'm going to Paracons, I'm throwing Paracons, like, just to network this house. And so that's how then I run into psychics, and psychics are telling me, you have abilities. And I was like, yeah, I don't think so. And like one of them's like, oh, you know that ringing you get in your ear? And I was like, uh-huh. Like, he's like, that means spirits are around. And I was like, that's crazy. Because I'd be paranormal investigating people. I'm like, do you hear that ringing? Nobody hears that ringing. Like, so it was just like this weird thing to line up to bring my life where it is. And that's kind of the funny thing about life, right? Like, so it's like there's just so many cracks on this path, but somehow they all mix together. Like I said, like the dog rescue and my work kind of mixed together, and then this real estate investing led to this. And so it's just kind of, you kind of have to just go with the flow, and Yeah.
So was that hard for you to grasp, because you said, you work in science and doing research and you are very right brain, and then here comes, your psychic abilities, which is so, some people would say is opposite of that. Was that hard to grasp?
Yeah. I mean, I just didn't, for me, it was just normal. And so, no, when finally that label got put to it, it was like, oh, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Oh, you mean, because I know that not everybody knows when women are pregnant and the gender of their babies and how much they're going to weigh. And I know I get that sometimes in weird ways. So sometimes I would see a woman and I'd see like a child walking next to her. That's a girl. So I know it's a girl. I know she's pregnant. Sometimes I'd see like a flash of like I'd see my nephew. And so I'd be like, oh, your baby's going to weigh 9 pounds, 4 ounces, right? And then their baby weighed 9 pounds, 4 ounces. So like it comes in different ways. So after learning that, I was like, oh, this makes sense. So I'm a know-it-all, and I have been, and now I can be like, it's not my fault. Like, I have a friend, and she's a lawyer, and she told one of our mutual friends that she doesn't like it because I'm always right, and lawyers really need to be right, and she hates it that I'm always right, and so it's kind of funny now in retrospect to be like, oh yeah, well, makes sense. Like, because running the dog rescue, like I would say, I get an application, I'm reading it, and I can read through the lines. Like, I feel the people's energy in it, and I never really knew how or what that meant. But I'd look at an application, it looks perfect, but I'm like, no, this person's no good. And so the lawyer would be like, no, they're great. I'm like, no, they're not good. And then 3 months later, the dog would be returned. And I was like, told you, like, so yeah, so it's kind of weird the way that has all come across, but again, it just is what it is. Like, so it's and working in science, actually, you would be surprised how many people, like, I was kind of surprised to find out how many people are into like crystals and stuff who work in labs. Like, so it's not, yeah. A lot of the people at my work actually totally agree with it or understand it, or they might be scared of it or whatever, but not a lot of them think they're kooky. I was actually talking to somebody who's like a big Wicked Cedar Sinai last week at a dinner, and our ex-director, it was his retirement party. He told her, I told him, oh, she's got a haunted house, and he turns to me like, sure. I was like, I don't care if you don't believe it. It's fine. Like, not everybody has to believe it. So, but I was like, yeah, I do. You want to see a picture? Yeah. And so, not everybody believes. I'm not here to try to make them, as far as science is concerned, the law of conservation of energy states we cannot create or destroy energy. So it makes sense to me. And of course, quantum physics is looking at dark matter and like all this stuff. And so there's a lot of talk in science about timelines not being linear. And so there's a lot to it because in this house, I feel like some of the hauntings aren't actually hauntings, but they're like a weird time loop.
Mm-hmm.
So like we have one who only says like get out and like F you. And I always felt like it was like another situation where she heard us and she was scared of us. So to her, we're the ghosts.
Oh my God, I just got goosebumps.
So yeah, so I have one in the room with all the dolls in it. That's why I have the dolls in there, because she doesn't like people in her space. And I feel like, yeah, she hears us and it freaks her out.
Oh my God.
So she would like, in the beginning, she would like bang on the walls and knock the artwork off the walls. Like she'd just stomp and bang all the time. So yeah, so I didn't use that room and she's calmed down a bit. But yeah, it's, so there's a lot of intersections, but I don't need to apologize for who I am or what I do or what I know how to do. And you don't have to like it or agree with any part of my dog rescue, my landlording practices, my whatever. If you would do things differently, you're welcome to do things differently. So I don't really take too much time worrying about any of that.
I love that. I think that's really interesting, like what you said, maybe we're the ghost in their reality, you know, maybe it's like 2 timelines on top of each, like
multiple. I mean, that's what they say. It's just like layer upon layer of timelines. And it does make sense because I had a group who's here, they're called Ghost Club Paranormal, and they did a whole YouTube video here. And in the beginning, Jade, she hears with her ears a voice, and she thought it was a man's voice. But when I listened to it, I was like, that's my voice. And I said it, and it's my voice, but I wasn't here. And I say something like, "Are you ready?" And so I'm like, why is my voice in their video? Because so it's either one, a mimic, or again, it's a dimension issue. I'm haunting my own house.
Oh my gosh, that is very interesting.
Yeah.
What a cool take.
So, I mean, it's one of the two. It's like, I mean, what other reason would my voice be in this video?
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah. But yeah, she thought it was a man's voice, but when I listened to it, I was like, no, that's my voice. So,
oh my goodness. So how was the process? Because I know you said you wanted to do boarding, and then you're like, no, let me just do a haunted house. What was that process like?
So again, I'd have tenants come for 2 or 3 months and then move out, and I don't advertise it, but my rule as a landlord is if somebody wants to move out and break their leases, I'm going to let them, because I don't want people who don't want to be there in my houses because they're not going to take care of them, and that's going to cost me a lot more in the long run. So as a general rule, so they'd sign 12-month leases, and then 2 months later they're out and have a nice day, like again. So I'm not going to force you to stay here. And so so I was just like, well, what do I do? And so, you know, I just have it as an Airbnb, but I feel like I have to be open about the spirits because they do weird things, and sometimes a light won't work. And then, you know, so in the beginning a light wouldn't work, and I call an electrician, and they'd come here the next day and it works fine. And so I've had to learn, like, I don't want people to think I'm a slumlord when a light doesn't work, or when the gas is turned off to the stove randomly, or something like that. So I feel like, and for people who are scared, or people who are sensitives, who are uncomfortable with it, I just think it's important for people to know. But now, because of the paranormal activity, I would say like 1/4 of my business is just strictly for paranormal. I would say 1/4 of it is wine related, because we're close to all the, you know, wineries in Amador County. So they're about 20 minutes away from here. And then the other half is just random. So people coming for family, for work, for whatever. But yeah, I do, you know, I'm very open about the hauntedness of it all, because I just think it's important. As you see my motion activated light going on and off.
Yeah, it's been on and off this whole time.
So like, you know, I feel like if I also, things move, so again, that could be a time slip thing, or it could be spirits. Either way, like, I want people to understand that it's haunted. It's not like I'm sneaking in to move their stuff in the middle of the night, or when they hear people walking up and down the the hallway in the middle of the night that is not somebody breaking in or something like more nefarious other than spirits. So I kind of, for so many reasons, I think it's really important that I'm like very open about that with them.
Do you have any rules related to that? Like no opening portals, no Ouija boards?
In the beginning, I had a no Ouija boards rule, but I do realize now that there's no difference between what I do when we do paranormal investigations and that, so I don't worry about that. But we do already have portals in this house, so what am I going to do? Like, seriously, like, my biggest rules in regards to the spirits is just to be respectful and to treat them like people, because they live here, right? Like, I've had some big shows want to come here and I've said no. And why? Because they are chronically disrespectful, and I will not have you come in here and disrespecting these spirits, right? This is their home. So I call them my roommates, but this is their home ultimately, so that's like my biggest concern. But beyond that, like, no, like, if people want to bring a Ouija board, I don't think there's any difference in that than dowsing rods or a pendulum or any other sort of paranormal equipment. So it is what it is. Now, I also think the spirits in this house, like, actually, because of the portals, so a lot of times when people come in here, they have paranormal experiences not related to the house. Like, so people bring their spirits here and their spirits are more likely to come through. So every paranormal investigation we have now, it's almost always people's spirits. They're people's dads and husbands and sons and, deceased relatives. Those are the people who are coming through, right? Like, mine are like, I've said what I need to say, or you got what you're gonna get. But I do think that they do also control who comes in and out of this house too. Mm-hmm. So it's not just like anything or anyone can come here. So I do think that they still do kind of like protect the house in that way. So Steve is in the basement all the time, and I think that's why, because there's a portal down there. So I think that he wants to make sure who's allowed to come in and out. But yeah, every single time now, it is people's grandparents and coming through. Like, it's kind of wild, but I mean, I think it's great. I know a lot of healing can come from that sometimes, and so I think it's fantastic, and so I'm here for it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we never know who we're gonna get when we're here.
Yeah, and I never knew how big of a subculture we have in Northern California of all these paranormal groups and activities and researchers, and like you said, you have a paracon, is that what you call it?
But it's the only one in Northern California, and there's not really a big one in California except for mine. Mm-hmm. So Gold Country is all notoriously haunted. So when you do that much damage to the earth, gold mining, or mining in general, every mining town's haunted. Every jail's haunted, every hospital's haunted. There's just a lot of certain things that are always going to be haunted. But then we brought in these Chinese and we treated them awfully. And then we killed and didn't take care of the natives. And then we had all these sex workers. And so, like, there are so many reasons for this area to be haunted. And people always think of, like, Gettysburg or other places, like, on the East Coast, because it's older. People always think that. But every single one of these gold rush towns is haunted. Every single one of them. So, yeah, and I'm helping, there's, because I do too much, a horror film festival that's going to be next year, but we've already started planning. And so we have I'm doing paranormal investigations for them as fundraisers for their event as well. I'm on the board, or on the planning committee. But, and so our first one's at the San Andreas Museum. It's about half an hour away. And then we're going to be doing one the first one's at the Angels Camp Museum. The second, we're going to be doing the San Andreas Museum. But both of those museums are very open about their hauntedness. Mm-hmm. Like, because they have all these old people's stuff, including memorial hair art and hearses. The Angels Camp Museum is phenomenal. And so, yeah, but they're shockingly very open about it. But I kind of feel like a lot of the people, like in this town too, if you walk around the businesses and you ask them if they've had experiences, they're going to tell you experiences. Like, whether it's the kitchen store, he can tell you about how one day he saw this little Chinese woman in the store before it opened, to one of the guys who owns the Mercantile down there. He used to live like 4 streets up, and he said how haunted his house was and partly was because this is where the Chinese internment camp was. And, you know, you go to the National Hotel down the street, they have a whole book of people writing their paranormal experiences in it. And so it's a normal thing here. It's not, you know, so yeah, people want to think Gettysburg, but literally it's not, and it's not just Jackson. It is not just Jackson, but so I'm trying to that was one of the purposes of the Paracon, to bring people here to say, like, hey, like, if you're interested in this, we don't have to fly to Ohio. We don't have to fly to Pennsylvania. A lot of the events are in Pennsylvania and Ohio. We don't need to do that. Like, we have plenty of stuff here. And so that's why I leaned Gold Country, so that way I can move around. So the first one was in Jackson, the next one's in Old Sac. So yeah, but super haunted, and I want to like kind of encourage that. But yeah, it is a subculture, but I think in a lot of ways it's very hidden still. A lot of people don't want to talk about psychic abilities. They don't want to talk about their ghost experiences. They don't, because they feel, you know, judged or stupid or whatever. And so I kind of also feel like that's like one of my goals in doing these events, is I get to meet people who all of a sudden have to be like, oh, I had this thing happen. I'm like, oh, that's because you're psychic. Because wouldn't it be nice if I didn't have to wait until I was like 43 when I bought this house? Like, I didn't know before that, like, a lot of the experiences that I was having. And I don't want that for other people. Like, I want teenagers to understand this early and stuff like that. So, especially if they're having a lot of experiences. So,
does your dog fostering tie into your haunted house at all in any kind of way?
Well, I bring them here oftentimes. Well, I do a lot of special needs, and I also do a lot of babies. And so I bring them here, and the owners who own this house for 60 years, all of them are here, I have pictures of them in the 30s and their dogs. So they like dogs. And so, like, the first time I ever came here without a dog, and because we were having a paranormal investigation, and the word dog kept coming through. Like, they were really mad at me for not bringing dogs. So I oftentimes do bring dogs here, at least. But, you know, and they all love it here. Like, my best friend's dog is super needy, and when she brings her here, though, like, usually she has to be in the room with her at all times or else she barks, but here she's fine. So it's kind of like, it's strange, but yeah, dogs definitely do seem to like this, and I've been told that there's a ghost cat here too.
Oh, that's
which at least I'm not allergic to that one. I'm allergic to the real ones, but yeah, ghost cats are fine. It's actually funny because I did buy a REM pod, so a piece of equipment for investigating that's a cat too, because I was told there's a cat here, so I'm gonna bring a cat here. Like, and when you pet it, it like glows and makes noise, lights up and makes noise.
So you touched a little bit on how your fostering ties into your, do you call it like your corporate job, your 9 to 5? But how did you get started in the fostering? Was that how, through your research?
No, that was before. No, I guess I've been a trainer for 17 years. So I think it was 2011. I had a friend who moved from here to Tennessee, and she got involved in a dog rescue out there that managed chain dogs who were on chains. And they had a case like in this area. So she was like, hey, can you help me with this? Like, you know, and I did it. And then it was like that one, and then there was another one, and then it just became a whole thing, as it does, you know, because I can't just do anything small, ever, no. So, you know, I'm a collector, so, yeah. And then I've always, I think because my dad had muscular dystrophy and he was in a wheelchair, I've always had like a soft spot. Like, I say like the perfect dog for me would be like 1 eye, 3 legs, and a cleft lip. Like, that's my ideal of perfect. It's amazing that my husband has all of his appendages, but like, I mean, for now. But yeah, so it's just like, I don't know why, but I was always drawn to like the special ones and like the special needs, the medical cases. And so, yeah, so when they wanted to do, they were doing research, and at first they used different animal models, and so it was like sheep, and then it was like gerbils, but then one of my coworkers came to me and said, I hear that English bulldogs have a high incidence of spina bifida, and I was like, yep. And so he was like, I want to know more. And so I was like, I know people who have bulldogs with spina bifida, so like let's just get in touch, right? And I guess I didn't even at the time know how many of them have it until I started looking, and then they just started coming and coming and coming. So
well, it takes a really special person to take care of, special need dogs.
Sometimes it's easier, actually. People always think that like dogs in diapers, doesn't matter if it's raining or 110 degrees outside. I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I guess that's
There's
true.
some benefit to that. Let me tell you, especially when it starts getting really dark early in the morning. I don't have to go outside with them. I have to go outside with the other dogs. So there's some benefits that people don't always consider with special needs dogs too. But when I foster the cleft palate newborns, it's every 2 hours you have to feed them. So I miss sleep for a while. But
yeah, every 2 hours. That's some serious stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're working at Shriners Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get started doing that?
So I used to teach. I taught adult English. So I taught adult basic English. You'd be surprised how many people in Sacramento stop going to school in 2nd and 3rd grade. It's wild to me. Never would have expected that. And then also ESL classes. And so I was doing that. And then in 2008, when everything crashed, the funding for adult ed disappeared. And so I was like, I don't want to sit here and collect unemployment, so I need a job. So, like, what am I going to do? And my mom's friend said, oh, I'm hiring for an assistant. Like, if you want, you can apply. And I did. And I took that job. And then when she left, I took her job.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So now I'm the manager of the entire research floor.
How do you juggle all of this?
I like being busy. I don't get days off. And that's okay with me. Like, when I'm, like, sitting on the couch watching TV, like, I'm like, I should be doing something else. Mm-hmm. And so it's easy for me to stay busy. I don't sleep a lot, obviously. And, of course, I also have a good, like, community. So I have somebody who not only cleans my house, but also helps me take care of my dogs. And like this weekend I'm going to be here. I forgot that I'm watching my mother-in-law's dog, and so like my housekeeper's going to take him home because she loves him. She thought she wanted to adopt him from me instead. My mom got him. But like so sometimes I have a friend, I watch her dog, and then sometimes she watches my dogs. Like my dog. So like that's special needs because my husband can feed the normal ones, but like all the special ones he has no hands on to that. So it's like, it takes a community to manage it all, but I do like to be genuinely enjoy being busy.
Yeah. And we were talking earlier off camera that you are kind of like a local celebrity, whereas your husband's very like antisocial. So do you get recognized a lot when you're out and about?
It's weird, yeah. And the funny thing is it's not just here. I used to live in China, and I made the news there, and then they put my picture up in like the grocery store for like a year and a half at least.
For like your rescue work?
No, just like I just went to a concert, and somebody took my picture, and they were so impressed that there was a white girl at this concert, right? And so like years later I went back and somebody was like, oh, you were from that concert, and I was like, what happened here? So it is funny, but a lot of people do know me either because of my rescue. I mean, I've adopted out thousands of people. That's a lot of families who've adopted from me, and then different times being on the news for that, and then in the paranormal community, So wildly, I'm on a show on Tubi. Did not know it. It's been up since 2023. Did not know it. Somebody sent me a message on Facebook, or Instagram, trying to pick up on me or whatever. But because he saw me on the show on Tubi, and I was just like, excuse me, what? And so I was like, can you tell me the name of the show? And sure enough, there I am. So it's kind of funny because, yeah, apparently I appear places.
All
so
over
people
different
recognize.
dimensions.
Yeah, I had the worst. Okay, here's a fun example of this. Not really. So I made a terrible, terrible mistake. I was going to Pennhurst for a paranormal convention, and I had all my ghost hunt equipment in a bag. Mm-hmm. And I take it on, carry it on with me because I don't want to pull out the batteries, right? So I'm going through TSA, and some people start showing up. Sheriffs, supervisors, all these people start showing up. And the sheriff says to me, is there something in your bag you shouldn't have? And I was like, no, it's just ghost hunting equipment.
Huge.
He's like, anything with a trigger? And I was like, shit. When I was in Tombstone at a paranormal convention, bought a cap gun. And it was in like that laptop sleeve in the back of the backpack that I never ever use.
Mm-hmm.
And I left it in there when I went through TSA. So they shut down TSA for a cap gun. Like a cheesy one, too. Mm-hmm. Not even like a realistic looking one. Anyways, I ended up losing my TSA pre-check status over this. But they're nice enough to waive the $14,000 fee for me. Yeah. It was serious. Do not do that. But again, I didn't know it was there. And so I posted a video at the airport of like, oh my God, I'm so stupid. I can't believe I did this. I'm so sorry to anybody who got stuck in that line because of me. And I went to Pennhurst. And so I was in Philadelphia, or in Spring City, PA. And this woman goes, I know you from somewhere. And I was like, okay, no idea. And then she's like, my friend sent me a video about you. Were you the one who's cap gun? And I was at TSA and I was like, oh great. This is what I get known for. So it's like wild that this woman all the way across country recognized me because I posted on Facebook about getting my cap gun.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it's wild, yeah. But my husband never leaves the house, so. But he will get annoyed whenever we go anywhere that people will come up to me and start talking to me. He finds that very annoying because he just wants to do whatever and then go back to his cave.
The cap guns, those are the ones where they have the little. You pull the trigger and it makes a loud sound.
Yeah, it just makes a loud sound.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god.
And I used it, I bought it in Tombstone just as fun. As the day went by, I was first I ended up with a cowboy hat because my rubber band broke and I needed to put my hair back. And so I ended up with I bought a cowboy hat because I couldn't find a rubber band. And so when I bought the cowboy hat, I was like, oh, well, I should get the fake gun. And they have recreating, actors out there that have gunfights in the streets and stuff like that, right? So it's not, a weird thing there. So I have this gun and this hat, and I took a picture with, these guys, we're going to have a face-off. And then I ended up, buying a corset halfway through the trip. So by the end of the day, I was completely dressed differently than when I went into it. But it was just a cheesy plastic black one with a big orange tip that shot, the little, they had the little rings of things. But I would use it when I went ghost hunting after that because, some items are trigger objects. Perfect example, actually, as I walk out of this shot. This.
Also, your dress is adorable.
Thank you.
So cute.
So this Raggedy Ann here, she is what we would call a trigger object because, maybe spirits would want to play with her. But when you touch her, she goes off, right? But the whole purpose is people will want to play with her, right? So it's a trigger object. So I use the gun, I've shot it in the jail, when we're in the jail and stuff like that. We've used it as a trigger item. Literally, not just because it has a trigger, but some things people want to touch. So old school bells, things like that. I use train whistles and books and all sorts of things, right? That sometimes I take investigating depending on if I know the kind of spirits are there. So that gun is just in the bag because it's just a trigger item and totally forgot about it.
Oh man. It's a good thing they didn't put you on the no-fly list.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Losing my TSA is pretty sad though.
Yeah, because you do travel a lot, right? I know you just went to Japan for a while. How was that?
Japan and Korea. I loved Korea. Japan, they're both great, but I much prefer Korea over Japan, I think. Mm-hmm. But that was my mother-in-law wanted to go to Japan. Mm-hmm. So and with me. So, yeah. But I travel a lot. And so before COVID, before all this, I traveled mostly internationally. Now I mostly go to haunted places in America. So,
yeah. What are some of your top 3 favorite haunted places in America?
Oh, that's hard. I have been to a lot of the big ones Waverly, Onset, Trans-Allegheny. I've been to Lake Shawnee Haunted Amusement Park. That was creepy. I was with my nieces and they were so afraid the whole time. They would not they just wanted to hide in our van because I rented a van with like a pop-up bed. They just wanted to hide. They were too scared to even be outside there. So that was kind of fun just because of them. It's a cool place to like, take pictures and stuff too. But yeah, I've been to all sorts of places. Some of the places, there's like the Samuel Miller Mansion in Pennsylvania. It's in Columbia, PA. And I've been there twice, and it's such a cool area. I keep saying I'm going to move to like West Virginia or Pennsylvania and buy an old haunted, like fancy Victorian house.
Oh, that would be cool.
It's a dream. It's a dream. So
yeah, well, if you want it, it'll happen.
It will.
Because you're very much a go-getter.
I just have to talk my husband into it. That's the only trick. He doesn't want to move.
Just bat your eyes at him a couple times.
No, it's just like, I'm moving. You can come or not. I don't care. But like, and he will, because what else is he gonna do?
Right.
But and who likes moving? Nobody. But
yeah.
I always say, hey, I don't feel like I can ever sell this house because I feel like really responsible for the spirits here.
Mm-hmm.
Like they feel like family to me now, and so I can't imagine ever selling this house. So we can come back and stay here and visit.
Yeah. Did you have like a grand opening when you turned this into Bethany's Home Sweet Haunted Home?
No.
Or?
And like even the name, like one of the spirits in that front closet, I was told that her name's Bethany, and so that's who I named the house after. But man, I regret that name.
Yeah.
I pick a lot of really long names. Recycled Pets Norcal, Bethany's Home Sweet Haunted Home. I make poor business choices when it comes to naming things. So that is something it's like always a whim because it's like I had to get a business license in order to get my STR license. And so I had to get it was like a whole thing. And then I found out later because I had to get like a fictitious name statement, blah, 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 blah. If I had called it Elsie's Place, nope, it'd been easy. But because I named it Bethy's Home Sweet Haunted Home. Because she was the first spirit I knew about, and she was the first one whose name it was. Now, knowing the history and knowing the spirits better, I don't think I would have named it after her, but what do I do now?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure she appreciates it.
I guess.
Did you do any, like, digging through, like, archives at the library? Or?
Yeah, I can show you a whole binder I have. It's in the basement currently.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so I know I have all, like, the deeds for the house. On paper it says this house was built in 1906, but I've got deeds dating back to 1878.
Oh my gosh.
And the fire map from 1895, you can see this house, and it's the same exact shape as it is now. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely older than 1906. I'm not too sure how it got that label in the system, except for, so the first owner was a woman, and back then it was against the law for women to own property. But she ran it as a female boarding house. And they really wanted those. They really wanted women in this mining town, right? And so they let this woman, so she was half Mexican, half Chilean, she was 21. They let her buy this house to run this boarding house. Mm-hmm. And so when she died, it went to like her brother and his family, and so it seemed like they were here. So it kind of seems like in 1906 their family left, and so I don't know if that's why it got that date or where that date came from. So when I bought it, I was told it was 1906, but it's older.
Yeah. So you have the Paracon and the film festival and a ton of things going on. Any other exciting plans that you have, or any projects? Have you considered writing a book, maybe?
It's funny because my degrees are in English. No, I mean, not right now, I guess. I don't really know if anything's interesting enough to write a book about, but...
I would say yes, it is.
But because I have a website for the house where I put, like, the Cliff's Notes of the history of the house in that, because I think it's interesting to share. The people who remain here were interesting characters in life, as so many are. So yeah, I have a weird, strange life. But yeah, no, I'm always up to things. You never know. I got contacted yesterday from a medium who wants me to help with a residential haunted house case, and I'm like, what? Like, how did my life get here? Like, now I'm going into random people's haunted houses to talk about their ghosts. Like, this is weird. But like, so yeah, so I'm doing a lot of paranormal investigations, and there's really not much of that. I mean, in Jackson, there's actually the Kennedy Mine and the Preston Castle. They do them regularly, but as NorCal in a whole, there's really not a lot of those being done. So we're getting more, and actually it's a great thing about Caliscaris. That's the name of the Calaveras Haunted Film Festival. Caliscaris. Brilliant. I didn't come up with it, so I can say it's brilliant. Not too long like mine. Anyways, they've got all sorts of places up there that want to do investigations, and I'm just like happy to get in them and explore them. I'm so used to like having to pay a lot of money. It's kind of nice to have people like want me to come in and just investigate their haunted places. So who knows? But yeah, the Paracon is the beginning of May, 1st through 3rd in Old Sac. But yeah, we have all sorts of, I got, just so much to do, but yeah.
Has law enforcement contacted you yet? Like, hey, we need your help on this case?
No, I don't think I would want to do that.
Yeah.
That's like a whole special thing that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, that's true.
So I definitely have had some very weird experiences, that are unexplainable when it comes to that stuff, but I don't like it. It's not when I'm not pressured for it. I was actually, one of my weirdest, most recent experiences, I was puppies, fostering them, raising them from the time they were babies. And then I started looking for homes. And so I had families coming to my house to meet these puppies. And a family came with all their kids, ran them around. They were sleepy, they were tired. So then when the second woman came, they just slept the whole time. And so we just sat there talking for like 2 hours, and she's telling me her whole life story, which is fine. And then she's talking about her grandma and how she went for her grandma's 80th birthday, blah, 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 blah. And then she goes, I don't know how my grandma died. And I was like, what do you mean? Because like, that's a weird statement to not know how an 80-year-old died. And I heard she jumped out the window, and I was like, like in my head, I heard she jumped out the window, and I was like, no, that didn't happen. And so she was telling me the story about how her grandma accidentally OD'd on some medication and went to the hospital. And so, but she was acting very weird when she was there, and she was all paranoid, like asking if she'd gone into her apartment and all this sort of stuff. After a couple of days, they released her. The woman's son took her back home, tucked her in, left, came back the next morning. And when he came back the next morning, there was fire and policemen and like crime scene tape up. When he got there, and I said, she jumped out the window? And she says, well, we don't know if she jumped. And I was like, no way. That is no way. So then I had to have this nice heart-to-heart with her about her grandma. Like,
oh my
gosh. Because I was like, that is so wild. Who would ever expect an 80-year-old to jump out the window? But that's what I heard. And I just thought, there's no way that could be right. So, yeah.
Do you think that's what happened?
100%. Yeah.
She just got like...
No, she was... So I was getting like other stuff too. But like... So my understanding of the story, and this is what I had to explain to her, was that she was depressed. Her cognitive abilities weren't what they used to be. She wasn't going to get better because, when you're not getting better after 80. Mm-hmm. So she was done. So she tried to overdose. That didn't work. And so then she jumped out the window.
Wow.
And so I had to have this conversation with her, like, and I need you not to judge her because she had every right to do that. Like, she wants to start over, and I believe in reincarnation, so it's like sometimes this life, there's too much here. Mm-hmm. So sometimes people want to start over, and I am not gonna, there's no moral judgment that should be held about that. Like, she was a woman, an old woman, and she decided it was her time to go, and blessed be. Like, good for her. Like, and so we had, but like, it was still so wild for her. Like, it wasn't a heart attack. It wasn't like cancer, because I feel those, like, because I'm a physical medium, so I feel how people died, and so I get a heart attack 7 times a week, because I'm around spirits that's what they show me. No matter where I am, this happens, right? Especially around certain people, if I'm talking to them and you're like, mentioned your grandma, and then next you know what, I'm like, oh, I've got a pain. When did your grandma die of? Oh, she had a heart attack. Of course she did. Okay. So I'm used to that, but like jumping out the window, like that is so specific. So that was a little bit wild.
What did it feel like?
Well, I just heard that, thank God.
Oh, you heard it.
Yeah.
That's pretty traumatizing too. That would be creepy.
Yeah. So, but I said, I'm glad I don't see, my housekeeper was here earlier when you got here. And she's seen some really scary stuff in this house. So I'm like, it makes me so glad that I can't see with my eyeballs. Because like, some people can see with their eyeballs. I see in my head, but I can't see with my eyeballs. But, because she's seen, like, a woman in a pajamas, like, a white nightgown, like, crawling in the back hallway back there where the bathroom is.
Oh, you know what's crazy is when because I got her a little bit early and you're like, walk around, take a look. I was like, oh, I don't even want to look down the hallway where that washer dryer is. I was like, I'm not walking.
There's a room back there too. That's the only room I've never slept in.
I won't go. I was like, nope, I don't even want to look down that hallway. It's freaky back there.
There's a lot of energy in that whole hallway and that back bedroom. The doll room, the back hallway, and then the other room on the other side. There's a lot of energy in that section of the house.
Yeah.
It's funny because I actually have a friend who's coming tomorrow, which is why I was having to walk around while I brought in groceries. And she likes haunted places too, but she's like, hey, can we sleep in Bethany's room? Because it looks the least creepy. I was like, no. We'll stay downstairs in the apartment. It's way less spooky down there. You'll be fine. Like, because it's like funny because even people who love paranormal investigations, like some people are still very scared of it. And it always makes me laugh because I literally had people run out of this place. Paranormal investigators run out of this place before. And so like, I just think it's so funny because like, when the woman knocked the artwork off the back of the wall, I actually had a paranormal group here. And they said, and I was like, oh, can you just ask them not to break anything else? That'd be great, And he said, if anything else comes down off the wall, we're leaving. Like, we're going to go stay at the hotel. And I was like, that's haunted too.
There's no escaping.
Yeah. Good luck. But yeah, so, and I actually I had a group of paranormal investigators who rented this place for 4 days and never slept once here. They stayed at the hotel.
I was gonna ask, do you ever get people that book the house and then check out early?
Oh.
Do you have like a no refund if you chicken out policy?
Depends, because again, my general rule is if you don't want to be there, I don't want you there. But it just depends. We actually just had workers come, so we get a lot of workers who will come and stay here, usually for like Monday through Thursday. They go home for the weekends and they might come back, and this might be a 3-6 month thing, week thing. And we had a group that rented it for 3 weeks straight, and they were messy and sloppy. But anyways, they left, and then they booked it again for another 3 weeks. But this was a different crew, and like I had talked to the guy who was booking it, and they're like, yeah, the guys mentioned the place might be haunted. And I was like, yeah.
It's clearly disclosed. Do they think it's like a joke?
They just don't read.
People
just don't read, especially these men, man. The workers, they don't read.
Yeah.
And when it's booked by people who weren't staying here, like.
Yeah.
But I had a groom who was staying here the night before his wedding, and he slept on the couch because he originally put himself up in that pink room that you never made it to because it's too creepy back there. So he ended up sleeping on the couch the night before his wedding, and then the next morning we happened to be staying. Me and my mom were staying in the apartment downstairs. He was like, "Is this place haunted?" And I said, "Didn't you book it?
Like the title, babe.
Like exactly." So anyways, the second group of guys only lasted 5 days. They actually and that was like 2 days longer than they wanted to. Yeah. Like after 3, they were trying to leave. But they had to find another place first to go, and I did not refund them because I was like, I was very clear about this.
Right.
Like we spoke about it directly. The first group was fine. The second, no, I'm not doing that. Yeah. And again, they were so messy and stuff. But so there's other reasons involved in that. So generally, but yeah, I've had sometimes like people only booked for one night, and like they'll show up and they leave 15 minutes later. I'm just gonna refund them.
Yeah.
Like, that's a different situation. I'm just going to refund them. But, like, yeah, it is kind of funny. Although I have, in my guest book, like, I have had people who show up as work groups, too, who said that it brought them closer together. Because then it made them talk about experiences they've had, so they got to know each other better because of the fact the house is haunted. Because it's, like, so creepy.
Well, I will definitely say it's a lot bigger. Girls, if you're looking at the link on Airbnb like I did and your website. Tiny. Yeah, I had no idea. It's huge. And it's so cute. Like all the attention to detail is so cute. And I'm a Disney fan as well. I love the Haunted Mansion portraits. And the ghosts that you have in the room, super, super cute. But also like Yeah, it's haunted. Like, it's heavy in some parts of the house.
I'll tell you, and you haven't gone on the whole tour. You haven't even been downstairs yet.
No. I cannot go with that back room.
Oh, you can. I'll go with you.
Oh my gosh. Do you keep sage in any of the drawers or anything?
I have it downstairs. I used to have it out here, but I think people kept using it and my spirits would disappear, and I don't want that.
Yeah.
But I do have, like, Florida water and stuff like that, too, that, like, if people feel the need to. But
yeah, like, cleanse after.
Again, the spirits are nice.
Yeah.
So, like, I kind of don't feel sorry for you. Like,
okay.
because...
I'll do it. All right. I gotta make my mom proud. I can't take it out.
So you don't want to sleep back there, you don't think?
You know, I was thinking, because I have the lake house, and I was like, oh, like, if you would ever, like, want to trade a night or something. Do you ever go out to, like, the Lake Almanor area or, like, Mineral?
I've never been, but I'd love to.
Oh, yeah. I have a house out there, and I was like, oh, we could trade. And then I was
my housekeeper lives at Lake Almanor.
No way!
Yeah.
Oh, my home is in Hamilton Branch. It's, like, a really small thing, but...
yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, but now I'm like, I don't know if you're welcome to go to my house, but I don't know if I'd be able to stay the night here.
And it's funny because, so generally, like, today it's overcast, which is weird because it wasn't supposed to rain today.
It's been clear all week.
Yeah, and it's really dark, and so it has that same energy because this house, like, usually during the day, I say, like, when it's sunny, it feels like Disneyland in here. Mm-hmm. And then usually, like, an hour before sunset, when it starts to get this color outside, is when the energy shifts. Mm-hmm. But when it's raining, it stays like that. The energy just shifts, and, like, literally, I love it when people show up here during the day and then leave and then come back so they can feel the difference, because it is palpable, the difference between this place during the day and night. And when I first bought the house, again, I wasn't used to paranormal stuff, so I was really scared, and so I stayed in the apartment downstairs, like, at night. Like, I'd be working 16 hours a day on this house on the weekends, and so I would get all of my supplies, all my tools, everything, take it in there, shut the door, because I was not coming out up here. Like, and that's why I put those motion activated light bulbs in that you see, like, to keep going on and off. It's just solidly on right now, so yay. But that's the reason why I put them in the hallway, is because if I had to come up here, the light switches are at one end of the hall or the other.
You're like running.
Come up, and I was running. I was like, me and my best friend would, like, leapfrog to turn off the lights and, like, running in the dark.
Scared.
And so that's why I put the motion activated lights up, so that way I wouldn't have to be running down the hall in the dark. Like, and I was like, well, now I'm not scared, but, like, back then I super was. But the energy is very different here at night and when it's dark. But again, the spirits are, I mean, this used to be a fun place, right? It was a brothel. It was a gambling den. It was a bar. It was a saloon. So it had a good energy. Like, I feel like they want you to have fun. Mm-hmm. And the more fun you're having, like, the more they actually will interact with you, but it's not in a negative way. We only have one grumpy ghost, and that's the one in the doll room. So... Okay. All the rest of them are totally fine. But yeah, I've never slept in the pink room. I always laugh when I put people in it, because I'll be like, well, the thing is if you scream, we can hear you, but it might take us a couple minutes to get there. Like, because it's, like, tucked back behind there, you know, whereas all the other bedrooms are right here. It's like, you have to go all the way around to get there. But and that's one of our most active rooms, because at least 4 of the spirits in this house use that bedroom at one point, like, different time frames. Yeah. So, so it's one of the busier rooms, but I have a friend who loves sleeping there, though, because so I think that the mirror in that room is a portal. So it's the joys of buying antiques. You never know what you're going to get, right? And so I bought that bed set used, and it came from Ohio once upon a time, ended up in Valley Springs, and I ended up buying it and bringing it here. And then shortly thereafter, somebody took a picture, and it's in the mirror facing the bed, and you can see a whole family on the bed in this picture. And so then I contacted the woman I bought it from, like, hey, I don't know if this sounds weird, sorry, but, like, do you know who these people are? You know? And so she told me the whole genesis of how she got her, how they got the beds. It was like her mom's stepdad's sister's neighbors, something really random. But anyways, it had moved. But she's like, I have no idea who those people are. And then I actually do think it's our spirits in this house, but it's like that mirror, there's something with that mirror. So I'm like, nah. Because I've had friends who slept in that bed and they said that they feel like somebody's like cuddling up against them. Or my best friend's cousin was sleeping there and she moves her feet a lot. Like she's just always like rubbing her feet against each other, and she felt somebody like put their hands like next to them on the mat on the bed to like stop her from moving her feet and stuff like that. So a lot of people have had experiences in that room. I had a guy through an Airbnb review. They rented the house and the father didn't believe in ghosts until he watched a full-sized man walk through the washer and dryer. The funny thing is, I didn't know until not that long ago that on the other side of that washer and dryer used to be an external door. Now there's lots of external doors
like
here.
to the outside?
Yeah, and there was a staircase that went downstairs. You went down, because when wives showed up, men needed easy ways to escape. So there's lots of doors in this house. So there is 5 external doors here, plus so that used to be 1 too. And then if that didn't work, they would just jump out into the creek. Because the creek is literally right outside.
Yeah. And just swim home.
Just to get away, like when wives showed up.
Yeah.
And so, so he didn't believe in spirits, and he watched a full man walk through the washer and dryer, which totally makes sense. There used to be a door there. It's just like a repetitive thing.
Oh my God. I wonder if the wife shot him dead in the hallway, caught him, and so he's stuck there.
Yeah, who knows why. And like some of it's like a lot of it could be residual like that, but I've also had ton of people talk about hearing people walk up and down the hallway at night, and it is weird that light is staying on. But I'm glad it's not flashing, but why is it on?
Be in the interview.
But I have a smart lock on the front door, right? And so one night there was nobody here, and at like 12:30 the door unlocked. And so at that time I had tenants living downstairs in the apartment. So the next morning I said, hey, can you go check and see if the door's open? And it was slightly ajar. So it couldn't auto lock, but there's no, it tells you how it's unlocked. And it was unlocked from the inside at like 12:30 at night when nobody was staying here.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, it can be busy, but the nice thing though is that I don't have 3 a.m. with ghosts, because I think this place was like a party palace from like 4 p.m. until like 11, 12, because the miners had to go to bed to get ready for another 16-hour day at work or 12-hour day at work, and they started like 6 a.m. So like the energy starts, I said, like an hour before sunset, and it's like usually like 11. Like I had one night that I had to tell everybody, the spirits and the people, at 5 a.m. to go to bed.
Yeah.
But because it was just nonstop action.
Yeah.
But that was like the 100-year anniversary of a mine disaster. Right down the street, we're at 47 miners lost their lives, and the whole town, they were at the time that they realized there was a problem. It was like 11 p.m. The whole town rang all the bells in the town 47 times, one for each person who died, at like 11 p.m. And so I feel like the whole town was energized. But so like at 5 a.m. I was like, you guys, people, spirits, enough's enough, time to go to bed.
Yeah.
But it was a wild night full of activity. But but generally by like 11 they're like, all right, it's been nice, it's time for us to go to bed.
That's
Thanks.
reasonable. They're reasonable ghosts.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, reasonable spirits.
Yeah, I don't need to be up till 3 a.m. ever.
Yeah. So when people rent on Airbnb, is it the top floor and then is the apartment separate?
Yes. Well, currently, since the apartment is open, the apartment is meant for like a longer term rental. So, but currently it's open. So currently people can book the top, just well, it's not just the top because the kitchen's downstairs. But like this section or the apartment or both. So currently, until there's somebody who's renting the apartment, and then it's just the one option of the 4 bedrooms.
Okay, all right. Well, I think it's time for me to face my fears and go in the pink room. I mean, pink is my color, after all, my brand, so that's like...
I love pink, too.
Yeah, I think... All right, I can't, like I said, I have to make my mom proud. I can't show everybody I'm a chicken. So before we wrap up, is there anything else that you'd like to share with the community, or any advice that you have for women who might be feeling like, man, do I have like psychic abilities, or?
I think the most important thing for people is to find community, however that is. So if you're interested in paranormal events, support the paranormal events that are here, because there's not many of them. So if it doesn't work out and I stop doing it and nobody else does it, then we'll be back to where we are. But that's been one of the greatest things about the events, is like meeting people who really are looking for their people. And I have found some really amazing friends through this. And so if you're morbid. I was going to say morbid and spooky, but somehow I guess morbid.
Patent that.
TM. Yeah. If you're just a spooky person, or if you're interested in any of this stuff, feel free to reach out. Reach out to me. I can recommend classes and all sorts of stuff too if you're interested in that. But yeah, come join us. Come join us at an event. You know, we have usually once a quarter we do events here where we do paranormal investigations. We call them ghouls nights, because so many people would tag their friends hey, you want to go? And their friends would be like, absolutely not. No. And nobody wants to come here by themselves, right? So I do this where you just rent the room instead of rent the whole house, and we have charcuterie, hang out, paranormal investigate, have fun, you know? And so yeah, so I've been able to meet some really great people that way, and so now I've got best friends now from people showing up to these. So yeah, so reach out, you know? Don't be afraid, and especially I've been working a lot with teenagers, and I think I'm really passionate about that, just because, again, I feel like if I would have known about understood my abilities when I was younger, first of all, because I'm a physical medium and people show me how they died, I used to always think I was dying. Mm. And so now I know what it is, so I don't have to worry about it anymore. I no longer think I'm going to have an asthma attack, that I have asthma and I'm going to die. I now know I don't have asthma. But also it's just a good opportunity for me to teach people about women, especially young women, about boundaries. Mm. And that is something that goes so far in life in every way. It's not just with spirits, right? In general, being able to be assertive and place boundaries. And so I think it gives me an opportunity to do that. So I work a lot with teenagers as well. But yeah, just feel free to reach out. Help find your community. We're accepting as a whole. But yeah.
Well, I can definitely attest to the fact that I reached out of the blue, hey, I have this little podcast, and you're super friendly and sweet, and thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me.
Yeah, of course.
And I'll have all of your stuff in the description, the Airbnb and the Facebook and your website, and if you could think of anything else that you want in there, just let me know. And yeah, be sure to share, subscribe, send this to anyone that you think might find it empowering, if they want to find a spooky community. What did you call it? Moobid? Moobid. If you want to join the Moobid community.
There's a lot of cows between here and there. And this is my favorite time of year, because there's a lot of baby cows being born. I don't know if you noticed that on your drive up here.
I didn't see any babies, I don't think.
So many baby cows. So Moobid, it seems so appropriate for me, because I love cows and I like spooky stuff too. So.
Aww. And let's go check out the pink room.
Okay. Yes. So this is the room that I recognized as being haunted, right away, was this closet. So now I have some Wild West costumes in case somebody wants to dress up, or a Ghostbusters costume in here. But yeah.
I love the Haunted Mansion stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's just this is my Haunted Mansion, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's always funny, because from the outside this house looks tiny. I'll put this chair back where I found it. But from the inside, it's anything but. How did that happen? This wall was just so big, everything looked small on it, so I just started collecting mirrors. It's kind of one of those things, one thing turns into 100 things. One thing turned into $100. So this is the room that my kind of grumpy spirit is in. So I put up the dolls because people hate dolls.
Yeah.
And so they kind of help keep people away. That one looks like me.
My grandma had a baby doll that we all thought was so freaky. I don't know if she still has it or not.
Yeah, they're everywhere. And my mother-in-law hates clowns, so I throw in some clowns for good measure. Yeah, some of them are bigger than others for sure. Somebody mailed me these two girls because she said that they were haunted and they were causing problems in her house. She had them for like 20 years. And so she couldn't handle them anymore. So I said, she asked if she could send them here. And I was like, absolutely. And I just set boundaries with them. But ever since I got them, the batteries in my thermostats, all of them keep going out so apparently they like batteries. And so we set up the Christmas trees. Darn it. Smart locks, the smart plugs.
You know, it's crazy. I literally just text my family. We do a yearly scary movie night with the girls. And I literally and I had no idea where the idea came from. I literally just texted them and said, I want to do a black Halloween Christmas tree.
This is awesome because it's a pop-up tree. So I don't have to decorate it. All that stuff's attached to it. You just run the pole to hold it up, and then it just folds straight flat down.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's the best thing ever. I need more pop-up trees, I think. Yeah, I started with just the white one, but I saw that one. Again, it's one of those things like everything, right? I keep getting more and more and more. So I collect I have a whole bunch of nutcrackers, and so I found all these Halloween nutcrackers. And so this will stay up through Christmas, actually. And then I'll come through here and put like snow hats on all the ghosts and stuff like that. I'll go through and put hats on the things and call it Christmas, you know? So yeah, that's what I do, you know? Yeah. So it's hard to see, but yeah, I'll go through and just put outfits, put hats on all the things and make them Christmassy. So I leave them up year round. You like Madame Leota, our haunted mansion then?
That is really cute.
I made that. It hurt.
So this is
pink. You like pink?
It is very cute, but it feels heavy in here. And this is the most active room, you said?
Yeah. So when we do paranormal investigations, we spend a lot of time in here and then in the basement.
It's a lot less scary when someone's with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get it. Said I've never slept in this room. So I love the furniture in this room, but I've never slept in this room. And then the closets don't help because I feel like there's a gap between this closet and then the doll room closet. I don't think that the closets touch each other. I don't know why. So.
Oh, and it has the attic space too. And this is where that exterior door used to be.
So I put the washer and dryer in here when I bought the house. Oh wow. Why? Okay, that was weird. So yeah, I bought the washer and dryer. I put the washer and dryer in here. I had it installed. All the lines run for it. But yeah, before that, it just was like a closet. But apparently there was a staircase on the other side of it. And when I say that we're on the creek, I mean we are on the creek. Look straight down.
Oh wow.
So it's kind of low right now, right? Because it's not rainy season. But that's how close the creek is currently. And it's low, almost lowest point.
This is the bathroom. All the rooms are decorated really cute. Oh, this is cute. Halloween word search.
Gives you something to do on the toilet.
Yeah. And is the Airbnb available for rent all year long?
Yeah. And then, yeah, if you don't like Halloween, I do big at Christmas too. Lots of Christmas decorations.
It's such a beautiful house.
So this is the largest bedroom.
Oh, wow. This is a serious piece of furniture.
It is so good. It is really, really heavy. So yeah, so all the bedrooms are upstairs. It is required that you will rest in peace here. So this is the kitchen.
Oh, there's a step. Make sure you pick up your feet. How cute! I love this. This is really big.
Yeah. And so that's the creek. Right on the other side of that door is the creek. Oh, I have another book. Today I'm going to switch out the snow cone machine for the hot chocolate machine. But
Very cute.
yeah.
Oh, log crusade. I have the same stuff.
The crusade?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I trust people with that stuff.
Yeah,
but.
that's a leap of faith there.
And then, so yeah, I had this bathroom added on. Do you like my sign?
Yeah.
This again just used to be a hallway. It's funny, but I didn't know anything about ghost stuff when I bought the house. And so originally I had one mirror here and then one mirror here. So when you close the doors, they would like face each other, right? Which is a bad move. But I didn't know anything about that. And then I had spirits coming going, there's something in your mirror. Or like psychics kept saying, there's something trapped in your mirror. And I was like, huh? What? And so finally I got a psychic to come and take both of them and get rid of them. And she like had to clear them and all the things.
Yeah.
Because there was like something apparently trapped in there because I didn't know what I was doing. So now, naked woman, much better than a mirror.
My grandma has some of these.
I love it.
I love them too. And I think it really pays homage to the brothel aspect of it.
And it's like the time period too, because that's very Edwardian. I'm gonna add all this to my stock. One of the cool things that I had a family who used to live here for 10 years came and told me about this. I didn't know this existed. So it's like one of their hidey holes where they'd hide things. But like until they told me about it, I never knew. I never noticed it.
And this is the basement.
Yeah.
And this is where you said George is?
Steve. Hi, Steve. Oh, probably don't look at that sign though. The baby's holding it. It's just, yeah, fun. But you can see, so all the black are Halloween, all the red are Christmas. I do big at Christmas too.
Oh, you got a little pink Ouija board.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I put a lot of stuff. So yeah, we do a lot of investigating. But whoa, when I told you about the, have I done research? Yes, I have done a lot of research. It is no shock that my job is research, but like, so I've got all of everything I could find on the people who were in this house. This is a sad story. There was a murder here, and it happened on December 25th, 1935. So Jackson Minor is slain, gun wielder flees. So basically what had happened was this man was with a woman for 10 years. He never married her. She met another guy, married him a week later on Christmas Day. 2 days later, the man comes here looking for a fight, and the new husband shoots him and kills him in this house. So, and then the new husband takes off, never to be seen again. But back then, they didn't print newspapers every day, right? So the same newspaper that has this article also had the wedding announcement.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah. But, yeah, so there's several different articles about that murder. That's one of the murders that happened here, at least, that we know of. But yeah, lots and lots of shady stuff happened, and lots of newspapers about the shady stuff that happened. So, yeah. But yeah, I've done a lot of research. I need to reorganize it, which is why I started pulling it apart, and now it's just a real big mess. And then there's this space.
Oh my gosh, how beautiful.
Yeah. So this used to be the bar area. The bar used to be there. And so that would have been the dining room. This bedroom now would have been the dining room. So on the other side in the kitchen, you saw there was like a pass-through window and then a swinging door. They've been sealed up. But yeah, this would have been the dining room back in the day. So yeah, this would have been where all the shenanigans are going down. The world's largest bathroom for no reason. I don't know why. I don't know when this was built, but it's really big.
It is pretty big. Yeah.
I mean, who has seating in their bathrooms? But one of my favorites parts is the patio.
Oh, wow.
So,
This is beautiful.
yeah. So back in the day, I was told that this closet that's under here used to be the porta potty, but I always felt like this was the porta potty because this shed actually hangs over the creek. So you can see when you come in that it's like, that's the creek right there, right? So this is only halfway on ground.
And then half over the creek.
They cut the Cal Fire, the prisoner camp, fire camp. They come up and they chop down all the bushes before it gets too rainy to help with the flow. So they must have done that like very recently. We appreciate the fire camp over here. They are like our little heroes. There's a parade for everything. There's a Halloween parade here for kids. And then the next one is the Veterans Day parade for kids. And the Veterans Day parade kids, not for kids. The Veterans Day parade always brings out the fire camp guys. So it's always a big one. But yeah, we support them and we love them. But they do some pretty cool stuff like chopping down our bushes in this to help with flood prevention.
Yeah.
Because we do. We have. That last really bad flood a couple of years ago, I ended up with about 5 inches of water down here.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
You put a lot of work into this house. How, was it in shambles when you got it?
No, but I mean, I can show you pictures. Like this room, this section, it had indoor-outdoor carpet. I put in the kitchen and all that stuff, right? It was all painted one color. Smelled bad because that indoor-outdoor carpet and flooding is bad. But yeah, so I've put a lot of love into it. But I spent a lot of time here, like painting furniture, which it's about time for me to start repainting some furniture. And putting all the stuff together and everything. So I would come down here and, because I'm cheap, so like I got that armoire for $20, but it was like new, but it had fallen off the truck and was like broken on the bottom or on the top, and top and bottom, and it was red. So I painted it, I put it back together, and that was And this bedroom furniture used to be like 1990s light oak. It was awful. So I painted it. I got that table for free, and that desk for free, and I painted it. Yeah. One thing I didn't know about myself before I bought these houses is that I apparently know how to decorate. I never in a million years would have thought that.
It's really nice. The whole thing is beautiful.
But when I bought this bedspread, my housekeeper said, "You must be crazy. That's ridiculous." But when I paired it with the birds, it looked great. So...
yeah, it's all very beautiful.
And that was like, I put that curtain up to try to block some of the sound from the kitchen. But, so there's a lot of meaning, a lot of purpose. But in most rooms, it's like I buy one thing. What did I just touch? What just touched me? I buy one thing that it makes the whole thing, one piece of art. The black bedroom upstairs, I bought a globe that was black, and the whole room was built around that. The globe's not even in there anymore, but the room remains, right? So it's like all of that, like one piece of something that kind of inspired everything I did. And I like yellow. It's a very cheerful color, right? And I like teal, and I like pink, and I like black. So it's like, I love this house, and my husband will always be like, "Oh, it's so girly." I'm like, I am a girl, but I'm not allowed to decorate our house girly, but I can decorate this house girly. Yeah. So it's like, this is my happy place because of that too, because it's just like stuff that appeals to me. Some people would say there's too much stuff in here. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't think so at all.
So yeah, and I kind of, all of my properties I decorate differently depending on time period. So like this space felt differently than upstairs. Upstairs felt older, more Victorian, whereas this felt more 50s. And so that's why I kind of went with like a farmhouse appeal down here versus like the gaudy Victorian up there.
Well, girls, I'm going to include the link if you are interested in renting. And like I said, I'll include all of Elsie's information. It's a beautiful, would you say, it is a home. A beautiful home.
Yeah. So the motion activated light's not going off now. It's supposed to come on before we get to the stairs. Come on, guys. So this is them screwing with us.
Oh my gosh.
You guys think you're funny.